those of you that don't know me. So I wanted to go over a couple things because I've had a few sellers contact me about how to go about setting up their page, starting out, how to add the photos, etc., etc. So I just wanted to go over a couple things. So first and foremost, how to set up the page properly. I mean, the biggest question would be like to show your face or not, and that's just a matter of preference. I mean, if you think your friends and family and people that might recognize you are going to see it and judge you for it, it might not be the proper choice for you. But if you just don't care, like me, I show my face. I choose to show my face because I really don't care what anybody else thinks. I mean, who's anybody to judge what anybody else does? If somebody's on the page and they see me and they say, why are you on that Scented Pansy page? I'm going to ask, well, what are you doing on there? So anyway, so that's my take on it. One upside to not showing your face is that it makes everything a little bit more mysterious. So it kind of adds a little more to the imagination, whereas kind of showing everything, it's like, okay, we know what she looks like, etc., etc. Well, first things you have to do is to actually add a couple of listings. So if you're not sure of what you want to kind of focus on, if it's going to be stinky socks or nylons or fishnets or bras or like kink wear, maybe custom videos, custom pictures, or if you want to do just straight plain panties, it's a good idea to put maybe 3 or 4 listings of each, and then see what what people comment on, what you can tell the number of views, what people are thinking. Buyers will contact you, they'll message you, they'll ask you, you can say things like, hey, just got these really cool panties, would love to customize them for you. I started 24-hour wear, can do 48 hours. Add-ons is how you make additional money. So if they want additional days, you could charge $5, $10, or whatever. Some guys have fetishes. Some guys, they will ask for pee. They'll ask for poo. They'll ask for skid marks. I have had everything under the sun asked for. I've had asked for cum. I'd have asked for guys come. So those are all different ways. Like if they want everything under the sun, 5, 10, 15, 20, you go from a $25 panty up to $50 possibly. So what not to do? I would say the most important thing not to do is to never use your real name with this stuff or your real address. I know, like, when I first started, I was like, well, what do I put on my return address? Do I put my name? Do I put my address? Because even people at the post office were like, you just want to put Gina Rae? What's your address? And I'm like, don't ask any questions. Just send it out. But you can just put your name, not your real name, your name on here. Like, mine's Gina Rae, so I put G Rae on the return address with no return address. Or you can put the seller's return address. I'm sorry, not the seller, the buyer. You can put his return address, or you don't have to put anything there. I always ask, where would you like this sent to and whom would you like it addressed to? Just so there's no discrepancies. I've had miscommunications before where it had ended up going to the guy's parents' house because I didn't read a note that said, his name rather than his father's name. So I said, well, it's discreet packaging. It just says G Rae. Tell them it's something off of eBay. You could even write eBay on the return address. So, as long as you're communicating with the buyer and what they want and their needs, that's what's most important to keep them happy. So don't use your real name. PayPal we discourage because that even if you have an email address that's funforeveryone.com, PayPal, they still have access to your real name. So if you're extra cautious and you have a problem with that, don't use PayPal. There's Venmo, there's Cash App, there's Circle Pay, there's all Amazon gift cards. There's all different kinds of way that the buyer can make payment. How payments work. So somebody will click on order, for example. They'll order, your pink bikini bottoms. And then usually the process is, you know, you contact them and say, hey, great choice. These are great bottoms. So this is my, you know, this is how I accept payment. Do you have any add-ons or extras that you prefer or anything? And if they don't answer you back, then sometime, I mean, I get a lot of orders at like 2, 3, 4 in the morning. So some of me wonders like, was this guy just drunk and just clicked the order button, or like, and those are what I call time wasters, because they get my hopes up and I'm like, oh look, I sold 4 panties, and then I never hear back from anybody. So it's kind of like, okay, don't click the order button if you don't want to order the panties. Some of them do have the respect enough to get back to you the next morning and say, oh, hey, yeah, I do want those panties. I would love those, you know, and then you proceed with the proceedings, etc., etc. So after the payment, and you only send the panties out after the payment is received, not once they click order, because you might never get the payment. So once the payment is received, then you can go ahead with the process, wear the panties for the 24 hours or whatever they have requested, and then you send the panties out. Now, I like to use bubble wrap. It's a bubble wrap envelope. They're fairly cheap. It's waterproof. It's discreet packaging. I go to the post office. Rates actually just went up. It was like $3.50 for anywhere in the United States, but now it's like $3.66 or $4 something. But you also want to make clear if they're international or if they're out of the country, because I had a guy from Canada buy something and it was very expensive to ship. It was a $25 panty. The shipping was almost $20 between gas and postage and everything. I think I cut even, so that wasn't cool. So you want to be aware of that too. So yeah, check out part 2 and I'll give you some more tips.